When people ask me, what do I paint when I don't know what to paint or even how to paint? I say splash paint around on the paper with some water and get on with the joy. Friends, today though, I'm going to show you how to take it to the next level, to take those paint splashes and turn it into something a little bit more like real, air quotes, art. Today, I want you to use whatever watercolor paper you have. Use what you have, use what you love. I'm going to be using a dagger brush, but a round brush is gonna work just as beautifully. Honestly, any brush is gonna work. All right, here we go. And now friends, I'm doing something a little different today. I'm not gonna show you the whole composition all at the same time because it's a little more interesting that way. All right, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to pick up the favorite color in your palette with a wet, clean brush, and you're gonna make a splotch, friends. And then you're gonna rinse your brush and you're gonna add a second favorite color to that splotch, and then you're gonna repeat it for a third time. Just make sure you rinse in between and don't overwork the additional color you add to those splotches. Just add the color, dab, and get out, rinse, and dab again. Okay, I'm gonna show you that a couple of times, slow down just a little bit. You're gonna make a blob of your favorite color, then you're gonna rinse your brush, grab some more color and dab into that wet blob, and then you're going to repeat that for a third time. And if you're feeling slap happy, go ahead and add a fourth blob of color into the wet previous three colors. Oh gosh, I hope that made sense. At this point on the page, you should have something that resembles an interesting looking splotchy blobby color thing. And that's about it. Move to the left or right. I'm going right of your original blob and make another. I'm using different colors this time, but you do you. Choose the colors that you're most excited about. And you know what? I didn't say it yet, but friends, make sure your palette is sprayed down, or find a way, a little dropper of water to add some moisture to each and every pan of watercolor paint that you have, just to make sure everything's juicy and ready to go. Now, because I'm using a dagger brush, my blobs have a little bit of shape on the edges. The silhouette of my blobs are starting to actually resemble flowers, but I don't want you to worry too much about it. Okay, now you have two blobs, and I want you to make a third one. Go to the left of your other two blobs and kind of think about these blobs being in kind of a triangle format. Like if you were to draw lines in between the blobs, they would ultimately form a triangle. So yes, your blobs are wet. That is the point. You're going to go into your blobs starting at the base of the blob and make a stem. Just make a stem, and then make a few loopy-doos at the top of the stem around the base of the stem, and then big loopy-doos that kind of go over top of your blob. And yeah, you see what I'm doing here. Now let's go to the other one, and we're going to make some skinny kind of controlled loopy-doos in the center of this blob, and then some big loops around. And you see what I'm doing. I am making blob flowers, my friend. Yeah. And it is so flippin' cool, don't you think? So when you're making these swirls, let's just show you this footage again, right? So when you're making the big loopy-doos that kind of go around the main body of your blob, you want to make sure that some of the loops are smaller, some are bigger, some are wider. Just kind of let your hand go free. Take a look at that third flower blob that I created. I mean, some of those loopy-doos were even starting to get pointed. And notice too that because we're going into the wet watercolor blobs with pencil, your pencil is starting to carry some of that pigment with it. You know I love this. If you want to see more about watercolor and graphite and oh my gosh, all the things that are amazing about that combo, I'm going to link a video below. Okay. Let's take a breather. Just take a moment. You've got your three blobs. You've sketched in your loopy-doos. I'm showing you some footage here again. I'm just going to show you on repeat how this works, because you probably can't believe how cool this looks, how quickly and with how little effort. But anyway, friends, are we having fun yet? I don't know about you, but it's gone a little bit past fun. It's like manic awesomeness, crazy fun. And if you feel the same, if you're inspired and you're just making blobs everywhere, or you plan to, head into comments and let me know, oh yes, whatever you want to say to let me know that you're on board and you are doing this. you're doing it now, you're trying it later, whatever the case may be. And while you're at it, friends, there's a little bell button somewhere underneath where you're watching this video. If you hit that bell, you're never going to miss an upload of mine. It's gonna be like a little reminder that pops up. And so go ahead and hit that bell if you haven't done so yet. And while you're at it, give this video a boop. That's a like, friends. It really helps out my channel. Now rinse that brush and get ready to grab your favorite greens. Now I'm using a round brush and I'm going down from the base of any of the blobs, really, and creating some green stems. And I'm letting the color run out so it's kind of like a dry brush texture-y effect. And then I'm doing some press, drag, and lift to connect to those stems. And I know I'm going off camera, but friends, this is for you to just take some creative risks and license. And there you can see how I've brought together the strokes, the dry brush strokes, letting the paint run out, all kind of emanating from that one blobby stem. Press, drag, and lift, a few single strokes, and just play with it. If you want to know more about this press, drag, and lift thing, and you're new here, I'm going to link a video below. You might want to check it out. Now, I am pulling out a liner brush. If you don't have a liner brush, just use the tip of the smallest round brush that you have, and I'm adding in some thinner strokes that are like the veins of the leaves. I'm using a darker green that has actually a lot of a really kind of bright blue mixed in, almost like a Prussian blue. You do you, though. Now, at this point, you could have a ton of fun with that liner brush or with the point of your tiny round brush, just adding stems and curly cues and whoop-de-doos, but you might want to move on to adding a few little buds. Again, friends, you may not be making this exact composition that I am, and that is a-okay. As a matter of fact, I hope you're not. So what I'm doing here with a number 6 round brush is I'm just going in, I'm adding some press and lift marks with pink on my brush and then like a fuchsia. And then I'm just connecting them with my liner brush and some simple stems. All right, friends. Now I want to know at this point, like, what are you most excited about? Are you going to build a composition like mine where it's like 3 blobs connected at the bottom? Or are you going to go all over the page and just have kind of an all over pattern? Like, what are your plans? I want to hear all about it. Okay, if you're vibing with this super easy breezy flower thing, then this is the video you need to watch next because you are going to nail it. Have fun, friends. And until I see you next time, I wish you so much happy painting.